Hey, Justin here, just checking in. Um, just wanted to share some thoughts. It's been a minute. Beard's grown a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's fascinating times for sure. We've got we've got this we've got the corporate media that's like once again declaring that it's all over and that Biden is the winner and it's over and it's over and they really want you to believe that. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify it to everyone on here that the only date that matters, December 14th, is not set in the Constitution. The only day that matters in the Constitution, which is the highest law of the land, is January 20th inauguration. There are a lot of processes that we still need to go through to get there. And what's fascinating is the way that the media portrays what happened yesterday was that these six swing states all cast their electoral votes for Biden, and that's it, done deal, it's over. But what they failed to mention is that these six states also cast their votes for Trump, which makes them dueling, so they have dueling votes, which that's only happened one other time in U.S. history back in the 1800s, I think, with between Hyde and Tillman. And the process that happens is it immediately goes to Congress to decide, and we've got a split Congress, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it's just funny because it's far from over from that perspective, regardless of what the corporate media says, which is just like they will continue to paint whatever picture to fit what their narrative because they really want it to be over. They really want it to be said and done. Um, but it's just not. Even if, and that's all just taking all of these votes at face value. But at the same time, we're seeing more and more evidence of fraud coming out. No matter how much the media denies that they're, no matter how much that they pretend like it doesn't exist, it's still coming out. It's still coming forward. Like I saw a report on a forensic audit of a Dominion machine, a voting machine, and they found upwards of 68% error within how the voting was tabulated, um, especially when things were adjudicated. So the adjudication process is when the voting machine finds some sort of irregularity. It's supposed to spit it to the adjudication process where whoever is in charge of that process can determine is this vote still valid, uh, and I guess push it through the right way. But what has been revealed, and I've seen videos of people playing with the Dominion voting machines and changing stuff. As soon as it goes through the adjudication process, it's like they can change whatever they want at that point. Like it could be scanned in one way, and they can manipulate and flip it to whoever. They can cancel out any votes they don't like. Um, so that whole process is very riddled with fraud, and that's what this whole report kind of goes into all the details. Happy to share the link to that report. It's very worthwhile read. I'll probably put it in the description just in case anyone wants to see it. But that's just another example. Like they just keep piling up. Like this election was so riddled with fraud. No matter what the media tries to claim, it wasn't. So anyway, we've got that playing out with the deciding of where the electors will go. And again, like I said, that's just taking the votes at face value, disregarding the fraud. Um, but if you take the fraud into account, this was a major attack on our um, the way that our constitutional republic is run. And that's if we can't rely on the integrity of our voting system, then what are we? And I know I have a varied audience of people who tune in and listen to these, so I'll kind of vary my message, if you will. So, to those of you who still think there is no evidence of fraud and just believe everything that the media has told you, that it's all made up, and I guess, like, how long are you going to sit there and pretend like this doesn't exist? Like, at what point will you heed the concerns of literally millions and millions of other people that are saying there's ample evidence of fraud? When will you look at the documents that are being provided, the video evidence, the pictures, the testimony? Like, it's it, it's a flood. Like, it is an absolute flood as soon as you start looking for it. You can't make all this stuff up. Um, so that's just my question. Like, when are you going to look at that? Or are you? Or are you just going to continue believing these people that you've never met? Or if you know, these people that don't care about you, these people that tell you all these things, but they don't care about you, they don't know you. So that's, just wondering, because they're going to keep steering you in whatever direction that they feel like is especially if no one's willing to question or uh, do their own research. And so that's kind of, again, I've made that challenge before, but just curious, like, when, at what point are you going to take control of your life and look into things yourself? Um, and those of you who have seen evidence of fraud but are okay with it because it's going your way, I'd really kind of check on your moral compass here, because if you don't, if you're saying that you know there was cheating, but it goes in your favor, you're advocating for slavery. Like, you're advocating for corrupt rulership, and just because your perceived master is the one that you want at this time, what happens when it's not? What happens when you don't get your way with how the corrupt system works? Like, that's a slippery and dangerous slope to be messing with. So I'd really check on that, because it's not anything about what I mean, certainly I represent. I don't want to live in a world where we're controlled and governed by some entity that I have no say in. That's how all um, that's all how all major atrocities have been committed in this world, is when people do things without accountability. And if there's no integrity in the voting system, there's no accountability for the leadership. So yeah, I'd really check on yourself and see what you're advocating for, because it's not right. Um, and those of you who recognize that there was fraud and are concerned about it, um, you know, I don't like. I guess speak up a little bit more. It seems like so many people are just waiting and quiet about it and not really wanting to say anything. Um, but like, if you don't speak up about this kind of stuff, like, when will you? At what point would it get to the point where you want to do something about it? Because I don't want to slip into a dystopian controlled state where everything we do is controlled by people that I don't know, and nothing that I have a say in. I mean, we've been in that sort of state unknowingly for a long time, but I'm certainly not going to advocate for it. I'm certainly going to make sure that anything that I do pushes us towards that free and sovereign state. Um, so yeah, but just to provide some comfort, and I guess just to give a little extra bit on where we are going regardless, and that's why I'm so confident in what's going to happen, because regardless of the show that happens within this electoral process and Congress and our judicial process, like, it's all very revealing on how kind of deep the corruption goes. Um, but this was absolutely an attack on our country. It's an attack on our values. It's an attack on our freedom. Our voting system is the foundation of what we should stand for, and that has been most certainly been infiltrated from within, and by people within this country, but also by foreign entities. We're seeing a lot of ties and corruption to to many foreign countries, like China, Iran, um, to name a couple. And so there's no way that this is going to be allowed to play out. Like there's no way that there's no way that people in office now, there's no way that Trump, there's no way that the military are just going to allow this sort of attack to happen and allow our country to be destroyed by this sort of corruption. So what I see happening is we'll see this play out for a little bit. We'll see the corruption continue to be exposed. But before it's all said and done, we'll eventually get to the point where likely martial law is declared, and all of these corrupt individuals are rounded up, and we'll go through military tribunals and have high level arrests, like I've mentioned before, which is going to be very shocking and alarming for many. But just want to prepare you for that, what I see as an inevitability, because it's going to happen, and it has to happen, because the alternative is just slipping into complete ownership by people that do not have our best interests in mind. And I know that's hard. That's going to be hard for a lot of people to see who are still kind of stuck in that mindset that this was all sort of a just a political game or what have you. But this election was really it was the largest sting operation that we've ever seen, and we'll learn about all the ins and outs of it. We'll see how deep the corruption went, and but essentially these corrupt entities were so willing to ensure that they got a power hold that they got really sloppy, and they committed a whole bunch of fraud very blatantly, and they thought they could get away with it too. But it was all a trap. It's all a trap, and we'll see it all. And it's all going to tie into the whole COVID scam as well. You know, the fact that this virus was intentionally distributed from a foreign country and placed here for the specific purpose of instilling fear and imposing new control measures, and we'll see that all be exposed as well. So just want you to hear it at least a little bit. You know, I know most, if not all, people listening to this will think that sounds absolutely crazy, and there's no way that's going to happen. But it is. That is what's going to happen, and so I'd rather you hear about it a little bit and at least be warmed up to the idea, than just to be caught by surprise. So that's all coming, but it's all for the best. Like everything is going to be happening for the right reasons. Everything is going to be taken care of. Like everyone's going to be safe. Everyone's going to be safe. It's going to be scary. Like I think there's going to be a lot of scary moments. But everyone's going to be safe. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to happen the way it needs to. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of put that out there. Brace yourselves for it. You know, like I've said, make sure you prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, physically for what's to come. Always good to have some supplies on hand just in case you can't go anywhere for a few days or a week or so. But yeah, and like I've always said, I'm always willing to further go into it if you have any more questions or just want to talk about it, or call me and tell me I'm nuts. You know, like you can do that too. I don't mind. I don't mind that at all, really. But yeah, I do this. Yeah, I really do this because I love you. You know, I love y'all, and I want to share that. Because I know that's why I'm here. I know that's why I'm here to share this, and I know I'm here to help ease this transition as we go through it. Because it is going to be tumultuous. It's going to be scary, but it's for the best. It's for the best, because that bright and beautiful world on the other side is so perfect. It's so perfect. We just have a little bit of work to get there, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, love y'all. Always happy to talk, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.